Indoors, it works much the same way. But here's one thing that uh, it's easy to get tripped up about. We start with a central vanishing point again, right? We're doing this to keep it simple. So this central vanishing point is the level of our eyes. We have to remember that. So the floor can be down below this central vanishing point. Doesn't mean the floor. And I'm saying this because usually outdoors we would think of a vanishing point, okay, maybe it's where the sky and the land come together, right? So maybe indoors it's where the wall and the floor come together. Nope. Think about the vanishing point as being eye level. Okay, so I'm going to do a room in 5 chairs, and we'll talk about how this is going to play out with the 1-point perspective. So here I am, and like I was saying, sort of thinking of planes that are squared up to us and planes that come out. I'm thinking about the very back plane of the chairs. So again, back to the IKEA analogy, sometimes we have to assemble the whole back part of it, and then things build out on top of that. So this would be the backrest. These are the backrest up here, the back support rod, and the back leg of the chair. And this little horizontal is that very back plane of the seat, like the thickness. If I just took a slice and sliced down the whole back of the seat, this is sort of what we would get. And I drew a couple of other lines here. This is where I wanted the front of my seat to sort of end. So we're looking down on the seats a little bit. We would see it's not flat looking straight at us. So here's where the vanishing point comes in. And I can start to draw the dimensions of my seats. With the seats, these are planes that are coming out towards us, the depth plane. So I want to go back to this right here. Let's imagine this was again a cube instead of a chair. Forget about the emptiness here. If this were a cube, we would have like this other sort of rhombus here, right? This again, it's not a plane that's squared up with us. This is a plane that's coming out at us. This bottom part of the rhombus, which goes from this back leg to the front leg, it also vanishes into the vanishing point. So I'm not going to draw it in heavily. So what this can do is give us the front of our leg. So now that I have these two coordinates, I can sort of make a very light line across, and I know where the bottom of all of the front legs will fall. It's time to add some dimension to the rest of the room. So what about the walls and ceiling? These are, again, planes that come towards us. So they're going to all extend from the vanishing point. Also, the doors don't have any thickness at this time, so I'm also going to give a little indication of their thickness. And again, these are planes that come towards us. They're all going to extend from the vanishing point. And so what's back here? Again, remember the vanishing point represents our eye level. Maybe back here in the distance, a window, but we can kind of orient ourselves, like where's the height, where might a window begin and end, where do we then place the floor, maybe about 2 feet down from the window. One thing we could do here is we have these lines where the room sort of converges into that vanishing point. We could extend that into this back room as well. We got more specific. This is where the room ends. There's a wall back in this room. It extends forward and comes towards us over here. One thing that isn't so obvious with the floor, you can see again how things look quite mathematical, right? The scale of this chair is the same as the scale of this chair, is the same as the scale of this chair. The same thing would go if we had, say, a wooden floor. The plank of wood, let's say it's, here actually I'm going to do, I just want to make it sort of easy on myself by making a nice steady increment, like 1/4 of an inch. And you'll see why I'm doing this. Just bear with me for a second here. So let's say this one board in this wooden floor is down here at the, okay, so we can see the vanishing point. Okay, so we see the vanishing point, and I'm scaling this one board in the middle of the floor to be 1/4 of an inch. And so at the very bottom, all of the floorboards will be 1/4 of an inch. I don't want to make you watch all of this, but I'm going to go through then, make sure that all of the floorboards are an extension of this vanishing point. So just another little tip. What happened here, we ran out of space on the page, so where are my dots to line it up? Well, if you run out of space, you can just mark down the same increments on another piece of paper, and then just line them up. I suggest just taping it down, just a little tiny bit to hold it in place. things are looking pretty good in terms of perspective. The only thing I'm going to do is just clarify the chairs in a few spots because there's a lot of information here. They're almost sort of blending in some spots. So I'm using a really fine charcoal line to do that.